Coming up next, I'm going to teach you how to handle rejection. And then, is it a great time to be a freelancer? If it is, how do you do it? And what do you watch out for? Plus, we take your calls, and it starts now. All right, here we go. I'm coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville, and you've joined a conversation about you, specifically who you are. That is your talent, what you do best, your passion, work you love to do, and your mission, results that you want to create. Then we look at what you were created to do. We're talking about work and contribution. Then we look at where are all the places you can do that, make that contribution. And then finally, how do you get there? So those are the questions we're answering. We do that by helping you see the 7 stages to doing work you love, what you were born to do. Get clear, get qualified, get connected, get started, get promoted, get the dream job, give yourself away. Those are the 7 stages to doing what you were born to do. 844-747-2577 is the phone number to jump in. 844-747-2577. As always, want to invite you to join us in the chat room if you're watching live just after 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you're joining us live, we have some folks that love to jump in on the chat room. If you're watching us later, thank you so much. Whether you're live or later, give us a thumbs up as you're viewing the show. That helps us grow on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't, and share if it is a helpful resource to you and you think it'll help others. If not, that's fine too. Keep watching until it starts to really sink in. 844-747-2577 is the number. Before we get to the phones, how do you handle rejection? Just saying the word rejection reminds me of pain. Isn't rejection something we all fear? The sting of rejection, it's like, it's kind of like a wasp. I know when my kids get around a wasp, and if I'm completely honest, to this day at 46, when I get around a wasp, I get like this. I get a little wary, a little cautious, and that physical movement that I just acted out for you is really an emotional response coming out of our body. And that's how we treat rejection, the idea of applying and getting a no, or getting crickets, nothing, or going for the job interview and not getting called back, or getting to the second, third, or fourth interview and somebody else gets it. The sting of rejection, once we feel it, once we know what it's like, it makes us do that. So how do we handle rejection? Because, folks, if you're going to live and work on purpose, rejection is part of the journey. It just is. There's no getting around it. We know this in our personal lives. If you're going to pursue relationships, whether it be friends or romantic relationships, rejection is part of the journey. So how do we handle rejection? In fact, this works relationally and professionally. There's 3 things, simple thoughts that I'm going to give you that will allow you to actually come out of rejection stronger, better, tougher. Here they are. Number 1, face it. The number 1 thing that you do when you experience rejection is face it. Most people, me included, when we first experience rejection, we run from it. I got rejected. What do? I go home. I cry. I go call mom and dad. Little kids, when we get rejected, tell mom and dad. As we get older, what do? Cry, call a friend. Maybe we go home and we eat ice cream and watch movies, sad movies. I don't know what your deal is. Maybe we lock ourselves in our room and listen to sad music or angry music. I don't know. But the human condition is to run from rejection. You rejected me. I'm running away. I'm hurt. It's personal. It always is personal. I don't get anybody tells you, don't take the rejection personally. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a human, not an alien. It's personal. So what do? Our natural reaction to rejection is to run away, to go hide, to go soothe ourselves. And this is part of the human response. This isn't wrong, but you can't just let it be that. We can't run from it and soothe ourselves. We must face it. Now, I'm okay with being sad. I'm okay with being angry and feeling those emotions. I'm saying don't run and never return. Retreat a little bit with the emotions. That's what I mean by face it. Let's actually face it. Let's not run from it. Let's turn and look back at it and go, that hurt. This is what I'm feeling. Gosh, that stings. Man, that sucks. Face it long enough to understand the emotions and the pain that you're dealing with. Don't stuff them. Don't run away. Reflect. Reflect. By facing the rejection, you are reflecting. These are the emotions. This is what's going on. It really does hurt. I need some time with this, but I'm going to face it. I'm not going to try to drown it out. I'm not going to try to forget about it. I'm actually going to face the rejection. This hurts. This sucks. All right. Second thing, now you filter it. So once you have allowed the raw emotions to set in and you deal with that, this is still a form of reflection here. We're going to filter it. Let's filter the rejection. Wait a second. How much of this actually has anything to do with me? Because of something either I did wrong or some skill that I don't possess or some experience I don't possess. How much of it is about me versus somebody else's whim and somebody else's decision? Let's really learn from this. Could I have done this better? Did I apply for something that I didn't have the experience for? Did I apply for something where I don't have enough skill set? So therefore, I kind of put myself in this situation. So it's actually not rejection, even though it's rejection. It has nothing to do with me per se. It's that I just didn't have the tools yet. Didn't have the experience. Somebody was better than me. Doesn't mean that I'm not good. Just means somebody else was better. Whatever it is, now that we've dealt with the emotions of what it feels like, now we got to be able to filter it and dig into the truth and go, what can I learn from this? That's filter. And then finally, flush it. See, once we have dealt with the emotions and we're not letting those be open wounds and we allow the emotions to heal, so now we've got a scab and then a scar. Now we learn from it. That's the filtering. And then finally we flush it and go, hey, I learned from this. I learned from this. I'm stronger emotionally now because I've come through the other side of it. I haven't let it fester. I haven't let it make me take my ball and go home and take me out of the game. I'm still in the game. And now I have learned something from it. I'm going to do it better next time. I know what I need to go do. I know what I need to go learn. Hey, there's some value out of this rejection. I filtered it. Now it's a memory. Flush it. Flush it. Gone. Crank that handle, Joe. Let it go down into the sewage of the soul, right? It's gone. It's down. It's gone. And now we're moving forward. So there it is. 3 ways to deal with rejection. Face it. That's the emotional piece. Deal with the emotions. Don't try to hide. Don't try to numb. Deal with it. Hurt. Soak in the hurt and the disappointment. It's okay. Secondly, filter it. Learn something from it. What can I learn? And finally, once I've learned from it and I've healed from it, I'm going to flush it. It's gone. Keep on moving. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. What do you think about that, Joe?
Very informative, sir. Yes.
The reason I asked you that is Joe's been with me for a very, very long time. And I have done that rejection talk before. I've said, hey, here's how you turn rejection into redirection. But I really want people to get that it's just that simple. And we allow rejection in life to hang on us like a bad coat, right? Like a stinky, smelly, dirty coat that we can't get off, as opposed to going, here's how we actually move through this. And Joe, you know I love alliteration. So that's the first time Joe's ever heard it that way. Face it, filter it, flush it.
Well done, sir.
Well, I'm not looking for the compliments. I'm just saying it's that simple. It's that simple. I hope you all are empowered by this. Some of you have faced rejection recently. Some of you are in the middle of it right now. Some of you are going to face it. Hey, when you get it, let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. Doesn't have to be complex, folks. The hurts and failures of life don't have to sideline us. Let them refine you, not define you. All right, let's go to James in Savannah, Georgia to get us started today. James, you're on the Ken Coleman Show. Hello, James.
Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for taking my call. Can you hear me okay?
I can. What's going on, James?
Excellent. Well, I do have some good news. The good news is that a couple of months ago, I was appointed to a public office, in a local public office in the community that I live in, and it's in my sweet spot because it allows me to basically look at data and make decisions best based on data.
Great.
And the bad news is that it is very much a part-time job that only has part-time pay, even though it has full-time commitment, but I may get to that in a minute. So I still need to have a full-time job. And basically the situation with my full-time job is where I am right now. There's a lot of drudgery there. I took your test and I took the test with my current day job in mind, and it was clear to me that while I'm in a good work environment, I'm not doing the work that I enjoy doing. Sure. So for that reason, when actually I started doing this before I got appointed to this public office, but I took a real estate class year. I got my real estate license earlier this year, and I hung it with a brokerage. And initially my plan was that I was going to go ahead and go full-time with it in real estate, so that way I would have a job that allowed me to adapt to the needs of being in a local public office. That is a big time commitment, even though the pay is very, very much part-time. Well, my parents called me, and a little bit of background, I'm 37 years old, so I make my own decisions. But, of course, whenever my parents called me, they really pushed me in a corner and made me feel bad about, James, how dare you leave a stable day job, and because security, what happens if you don't make it as a realtor, yada, yada. So all that to say, at this point, I feel really boxed in because on one hand, I like where I am with this elected official job, but I want to fix the day job, and I found a fix to the day job through real estate, but my parents kind of belittled me and pushed me out of doing that. The other issue I have going on, Ken, is I used to be a data analyst for local government, so I was the guy who would write the reports and perform the analysis that elected officials would review and make decisions based on my work. So I'm sure you can see the connection between that and that elected office job. But, of course, all my old jobs, as I've had to tell my parents several times over, they're now conflicts of interest because with this particular government board I serve on right now as an elected official, it's a conflict of interest for me to hold any local office. But let's say I wanted to later on run for city council or something along those lines, I'd run into the same snag of the work that was in my sweet spot is now going to be a conflict of interest. So that's all right.
This is not as confusing as you think it is. Well, we got some layers of the onion here, and I'm going to try to identify this pretty quickly.
Okay.
What is it that you ultimately want to do? Do you want to move your way up the ladder in data analyst work in the public side of things or in the corporate side of things? Or do you want to be an elected official? Because I've heard all I need to hear. The question is, what's the top of the mountain for you?
Well, the top of the mountain would be to hold elected office.
That's what I thought.
And the other
wait. Stop.
Yeah.
Come on, James. You're talking too much, man. You're thinking too much. No more buts in this conversation. The top of the mountain for you is to run for elected office.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you're already in a local elected position, but you got higher sights, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what is it? Let's name it. Be specific. Well, give me a couple of dream political offices that you would love to hold down the road.
Well, down the road, I would love to be a state representative.
Okay, great. That's a part-time job anyway.
Yes, sir. And that seems to be what I come back to is I am especially passionate about.
Hold on. I got it. You like real estate, don't you?
Yes,
I didn't
sir.
say you love it. I didn't say you love it, but you like it.
Yes, sir.
And the reason you like it is because why? Tell me. Give me. And I need the 20-second version. No more. Go. Why do you like real estate?
It enables me to be a better local elected official.
Okay, great. Because you also love people too.
That's right.
Okay. And the other reason you like it as an idea is because it's going to give you some flexibility once you get up and running.
Absolutely, because I know that my dream jobs are ultimately part-time jobs.
Exactly. So the asterisk is once you get up and running. So up and running means, okay, once I can take care of my bills. So is it just you, or do you have a family that you are providing for?
It's just me at home. Okay,
so what do you need to make to basically just make ends meet?
I would say in the 40,000s, which is a little bit more than where I am right now.
Okay, and so that's what, and so are you getting part-time pay with this data analyst job for the government or no?
You mean for the office I hold?
Yes,
I am getting part-time pay.
Okay, so how much of the 40 is that?
It's just a really small amount. This particular office.
Well, let's call it. We'll call it nothing. Okay, because I don't want you to give that information. Okay, I get it. All right, I'm not trying to get you to divulge stuff that you. But my point is you got to replace the 40,000.
Right.
And you're assuming that real estate's the only way to do that. But you love the data analyst type of work. That's what you're doing in this elect. So why can't you do that in the private sector as your day job? And then you do the elected official stuff. So it's a corporate. So I don't think it's a conflict of interest. If you're doing data analyst work for another company in Savannah, and then you hold this elected official and you're making 40 or more, then you don't have to ramp up and kind of put yourself in a position with real estate that you're going to have to really hustle to be able to make that kind of money in the first 6 months. Right?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's
so why
correct.
can't you do data analyst work, which is in your sweet spot in the corporate world, and you hold this other position? Am I missing something?
I think the biggest concern I have with that, Ken, is because Savannah is a smaller city. There's fewer data analyst opportunities to go around than, say, if I was in a bigger city.
Do you have facts? Do you have facts to back that up?
Just cursory glances and cursory scans. Nothing.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Here's my point. Whether it's data analyst work or something in that, you love working with numbers and analyzing and crunching numbers. I mean, how many different positions are there that are similar to data analyst? In Savannah, there's plenty. You're acting like Savannah's a town of 500 people. I just don't buy that. I don't buy it at all. So I don't care what you do for a day job. If you think that you can make it work as a real estate agent and you plan for that financially, so you sock some money away and you cut, and you sell everything that you can sell, and you build up a 6-month, what I would call a floating fund to get your real estate up and going before you sell a house or 2 or 3, because you got to go all in on real estate to win.
Yep, absolutely.
So the question is, how many hours a week are you going to be able to give real estate if you're on this local position? But that's a good move. And I tell the parents to go pound sand. Love you, Mom and Dad. I really don't care what you think, because I'm a grown blank, you know what, man.
Right.
I mean, who cares what Mom and Dad think? How old are you?
I'm 37.
Are you a grown? Wait. Are you a grown man or not?
I am.
Tell Mom and Dad thanks, but no thanks. You all enjoy yourself at the Piccadilly Cafeteria every Tuesday, Thursday night. I'm going to make my own decisions. I got to tell you, you're 37. I don't care what Mom and Dad think, and I know you love them and you respect them, and I respect them. But I respectfully would tell Mom and Dad, if they're on the phone, it's not your call anymore. You don't get a vote. I hope you're going to have a stronger spine when you run for office and when you get elected than worrying about what Mom and Dad think. Because if you're letting Mom and Dad hold your dream up, which you are, God forbid what you're going to let a couple disgruntled letter writers do when you get elected, because they're out there.
Right.
James?
Yeah, it just is a different dynamic when it's family involved.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Non-family.
No, it isn't. It is not. Because you are. I understand they're your mom and dad, and they hold more weight than a constituent, but that's not the issue. You're allowing them to discourage you and take you off the path that you want to go on. And I think it's a fine path. So you decide, James. I'm on your team. I'm on Team James. And James needs to tell his mom and dad, thanks, but no thanks. And that's all I've got to say on that. There's nothing more to say. You got to do it. 37-year-old man who's got a good plan, because I heard a good plan. I added to the plan. I gave you some other options. But this has nothing to do with your plan or my plan. This has everything to do with your mom and dad are scared that you're going to hurt yourself financially and you're going to become homeless and live under a bridge if you leave your stable job. Well, sorry, mom and dad, I got dreams. I think you raised me to do that. If parents don't have boundaries, adults, you need to create the boundary. And they've got no boundaries, so you need to create it, James. That's just that simple. I'm not anti his parents, but folks, I wish I could say it on the air. Joe, you know what I want to say. He's a grown man. Come on. Do you run your grocery list by him too? Do you go home and go, hey, I'm thinking about asking this gal out at work. You want to check her out on LinkedIn and Facebook and tell me what you think? Joe, I don't know why you're laughing so hard back there. Either I'm right or I'm not.
Oh, you're right.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Joe, what if your mom told you not to move to Atlanta? To Nashville. She's like, Joe, you got a really good job at WDUN. You and Debbie have lived in Gainesville for X amount of years. You shouldn't go up there and work for that guy. You don't know if he's going to make it. What would you say to that, Joe?
Mom, I love you, but hey, I've already packed my bags.
Yeah.
I've charted a course. It's done.
Thanks, Mom. You know what you ought to do? These adults that are having, these parents having boundary issues, you ought to flip it on them. Next time they do that to you, go like this, very respectfully, okay? I don't think you should leave that job. I think it's crazy. I think you've lost your mind. And if you do this, we are going to be so disappointed because this is just crazy risky. You should go, okay, all right, okay, that's what you think? Yeah, that's what we think. Okay, all right. Well, listen, I think you guys should stop eating TV dinners and watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune every night. You guys should actually get out and walk because you've put on too much weight. And I'm concerned that you're going to die early because you're not healthy. That's what I think. Try that one on. Could you? Now, you guys are like, oh, boy. Wait a second, Ken. That's a little. Is it? Isn't it the same thing? Okay, good call. You told me how I should live my life. I'm going to tell you how I think you should live your life. And by the way, Dad, stop wearing the Velcro white tennis shoes. You look like a clown. Too much, Trevor? Little too much? You think that's too much? You don't have Velcro white shoes on. If you did, I'd be the guy to tell you, by the way, because I love you that much. But anyway, folks, try it on. Try it on. I mean, look, if people are going to overstep their boundaries, then try it back on for size. And here's what I'm saying. Some of you aren't willing to have that sticky conversation, Joe. I know. But that would put a nip in that deal. That would nip that in the bud. It'd be like, oh, okay. But we love our parents because we're good people. And I appreciate that. We respect our parents. I appreciate that. But you're a grown man. All right, I've beat that horse completely to a pulp, but it needs to be said. It needs to be said. Let's go to Lee in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Lee, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. How can I help?
I have worked for a company for 10 years. I love my work. I do work that matters. I recently made a pretty big mistake, and while my manager and I have agreed to clear the table and start over, I'd like some advice on how to move forward after that. The context is that I replied to a group text. No, I did not realize it was a group text.
Oh, no.
And I questioned, and I questioned my direct leadership. I mean, mortified does not cover it.
Yeah, but you've talked to the leader about the text?
I did not bring it up. I hid. I'll just say that. But it did come up. And, you know, I know it will take time to build a better relationship with my leader, but I don't want to see this past 10 years of work that I care about so deeply overshadowed by this
Yeah,
one
I
mistake.
agree. I agree. So let me go back, because I thought you said at the start of your question that you and your leader have agreed to kind of let this water go into the bridge, but it sounds to me like that wasn't a direct conversation.
No, it was. It was tucked onto another conversation. It was kind of the parting shot out the door, letting me know that she knew this had happened, but she's willing to let it go. I'm also willing to let it go. Here's my concern.
Okay.
I really want to make amends, but I don't want to make it worse. So,
okay. So let me ask you this: Can we break this down? What did you say?
well, fortunately, it's not, and I'm not that kind of person. It wasn't a personal attack, but as a leader, if I had read it, I would have felt it as a personal attack. I said to someone that at least you're working somewhere where you have good leadership. I don't feel that here right now. And that was from an honest place.
No,
it was certainly not,
I get it.
Meant for everyone.
I get it. I'm cringing right now. I would get cringe everywhere. But the reason I'm asking you what you said is because if you want to make amends, the way that it happened, you were in the leader's office, and it didn't even come up until you were walking out. And I want to know what was said by them.
It was part of a larger conversation. Actually, I didn't even know it was going to be part of the conversation. But at the very end, after we had agreed to, hey, this is a new manager for me for this building, and there's been some struggle. And we were like, let's just find a way to get past this, just put everything under the table. And, oh, by the way, don't reply to group text.
Oh, okay. So you thought that the leader was addressing what was already going on, but they really were addressing you complaining on a group text about their leadership, and it was just kind of, oh, by the way, gotcha, I saw it.
Yeah. And it's okay. I was in the wrong. I was definitely in the wrong here.
No, I know, but here's the deal. I know what your concern is. So here's the deal. Is this a guy or a gal? Leader?
It's a woman.
Yeah. On one hand, I'm impressed that she called you in and talked about the bigger issues and acknowledged that there were issues. In that conversation, did she address some of her shortcomings or ask you, or was it just kind of, hey, it's new and we got to figure out how to work together? Was it just kind of a glazing, or did we get into some stuff?
No, we did get into some stuff. There were actually two other people involved. So it was, I don't know, it was a for both of us thing. I'm working for a company that's trying to change culture.
Good. So let me ask you this. Did you feel that was positive when you walked out of there, except for the little shot across the bow at the end? Did you feel it was positive?
Actually, I did. I mean, I did not feel that my job had been threatened or anything. And quite frankly, it really could have been,
Yeah. How long ago was this meeting?
A couple of days.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I'd go back. I would do a peace offering. This is just me. And I think that's what you called. You called me about to get my advice on what you should do. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've been breaking down this situation. I wanted to know all the angles. I got to tell you, she may not be a very good leader, but she's a good person. That's what I think. I think she is a good person. To handle it the way she did, a lot of unhealthy leaders and not so good people would totally can you or shun you and make you so miserable that you leave on your own. Doesn't sound like that's happening. So I would take a peace offering. I would go the extra mile and find out something she loves, a hobby, a favorite restaurant, something like that, I would really give a nice peace offering, and I would take it in personally. And I would say, I feel awful. I was in an unhealthy place, and you've taught me more in how you've responded to me by giving me grace. You've taught me more about myself than I was able to see. And because the comment, the mistake, the bad decision here to reply to a text, it doesn't matter whether it's a group or not. I should have never done that, but I was in a place of frustration. And when people are frustrated and unhealthy and they allow frustration to simmer, it becomes nasty. And that was on me. It wasn't just a bad judgment call. It was a greater frustration, and I should have handled it better. And I should have come to you directly and said, hey, I'm experiencing a little bit of this, but I want to be here. I don't want to work through this. And so I've learned a lot. So I'm not just here apologizing again. I'm here to thank you for showing me grace and mercy and teaching me something. And you are a good person. And I want to help you win. And I'm just grateful. I think that's all you can do. That's a way of falling on the sword, but really having eat a big old slice or two of humble pie in front of her by praising her and acknowledging her for her grace and mercy. Because I think she's a really good person. Do you agree with what I said? Does that square with what the reality is on your end?
It does. It does. And I do believe she's a good person. Do I owe an amends to the other people who were on this?
Yes. You need to go to each one of the people that were on the text. And to be honest with you, this is the way I would do it. This is the Ken Coleman way. I'd call all of those people into a meeting, and I'd own it in front of all of them. Because going one-to-one is a good way and an honorable way, but doing it in front of everybody, since you group texted, you got to group apologize and own it. I'd get all of them in the room, look them eye to eye, and go, boy, did I learn a valuable lesson about me. Don't make any excuses. Own your frustration. Own your unhealthy reaction. And share the lesson you learned, and then apologize deeply. That's how you win in this role. That's how you win in this situation. And by the way, don't tell the leader you did it. Let it get back to her that you did it that way. But I would do it with them, and I would do it with her.
All right, great.
Yeah, you got this. And now listen, Lee, what's key here is that you don't have any shame. Like, you handle it this way, there's no shame. So very few people in our world actually handle things like this the way you're going to handle it. You are an honorable, good woman. So handle it and forget about it. You hear me?
I'll give it a try.
No, not good enough.
Okay, this one's hard.
I know it's hard, but I don't want you to try.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thank you. Get that word try out of your vocabulary. I'm not word nerding out here and making a mountain out of a molehill. The word try means, well, I'll try. No, I'm going to do it.
Oh, no, I'll do it. The try part was about trying to get over it for myself.
No, well, no, but again, that's an excuse too. You thought you were going to get out of that one, didn't you, Lee? No, don't say I'm going to try to get over it. No, because if you try to get over this, you're stuffing your feelings. You got to own the feelings. You got to go, I'm embarrassed out of my mind. And say it to those coworkers. Say it to the boss. I am ashamed. I am embarrassed. I am humiliated. I'm hurt. I'm broken. I'm sad. Own it. Because once you own those emotions, then there's nothing else for you to try to deal with. They're going to look at you and go, good on you, Lee. But if you try to get over it, that means you're not going to admit the shame, the humiliation, the anger at yourself, whatever. But when you own it, it takes all the sting away. There's no more elephant in the room. You got it, Lee?
I do.
All right, go.
Thank you so much, Dave.
You bet. I appreciate you trusting me with this. But let me tell you something. You're going to come out of this better than you ever were before. But you must deal with it. Oh, boy, we're getting into it today here on the Ken Coleman Show, aren't we, Joe? All right, real quick commercial when we come back. Some interesting data in the news here about freelancing. I'm going to give it to you and give you some perspective if that's something you're thinking about. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. We're coming to you live just after 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching later, thank you. Give us a thumbs up right below the video window. Subscribe and share if this show is encouraging you, equipping you, and entertaining you. The chat room is having a little bit of fun with me taking a shot at the parents without boundaries with adult kids. I give parents up until the age of 25. I'm making that up. Hit me tomorrow with that, and maybe I lower it to 23. But I'm going to say I give parents of adult kids, I'll go 23 to 25. I'm already lowering it. 23 to 25 to actively speak into the life choices. And I'm going to I love this. I love making this stuff up on the fly. I'm going to reduce it to you're done if the kid's married. But if they're single, 23 to 25, Amanda, I'm going to go, all right, parents of adults, or 23, I think it's okay for you to actively speak into their decisions to that age. I'm saying okay, but it's an individual situation. If they're married, you're done. They got a spouse now. They got to make their own choices. You need to stop. All right. This dude was 37. I mean, 37. And you're telling him that he shouldn't leave his job to go into real estate to do what he wants to do? Yeah, well, okay, great. You need to exercise more, Dad. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We don't do that to them. Parents, stay out of it. It's not your freaking business anymore. And I didn't say you couldn't have an opinion, but this dude was locked. This dude's locked up. And again, some of you are going, well, he just needs to put his big boy pants on. Yes, and I told him that. But parents, don't forget the hold you have on your kids. It's coming from a good place. These kids are being deterred by you. Anyway, some of you need some coaching by me. So we've got some career coaching spots open, one-on-one with me, 3 one-hour sessions. We did our first 10 several months ago. Now we're coming back out with 10 more spots. And we've raised the price because my time is limited, but you're getting premium coaching. But even at that, we're offering at a huge discount. We're offering for only $2,400 for 3 sessions with me, 1-hour sessions. I'll give you homework. We dive into your agenda. You get me for a 1 hour, 3 separate times, and we're recording it. We'll let you have the recording of it so you can learn from it later. But we are developing product and developing services in this area, so we're offering it for $2,400. It would normally be $4,800 if I charged the going rate for somebody of my experience and my quality of coaching. So it could be a gift for somebody. We still have a few slots left. 3 one-hour sessions, $2,400. Go to kencoleman.com/coaching. You can book your first appointment right there on that website, kencoleman.com/coaching. And look forward to seeing you over the old Zoom. All right. It's time for In the News. That was a cue. There we go. All right, so I saw this article, and I wanted to share this with you because I see stuff in the news all the time. I'm like, this is good information. This one's from Forbes magazine, and this is leaning a little bit towards editorial. So I'm not going to get into that as much, but I do think there's some worthy information here. And the point this Forbes writer is making that freelancing is a great way for you to have better work-life balance. Yes, if. I'll get to that in a moment. But let's just look at the marketplace. This is what I really wanted to share with you because a lot of you are thinking about freelancing and really going after that full time. So according to data from freelancer.com, between the first and second quarters of 2020, now, of course, this is when the pandemic is, kind of just putting a screeching halt on the way we were doing work. In the first and second quarters of 2020, the job market for freelancers swelled over 25%. So companies still needed the work done, but people had been laid off or furloughed. And they're like, okay, I could kind of move over here as a free agent. That's essentially what was happening. Now, ZipRecruiter has come in with new information just last September that they had seen a similar upward trend in freelance temporary job postings that increased from 24% to 34% and has remained high. So all that to say, freelancing, certainly with the now flexible work hours whether you're working from home or in the office. The economy in the workspace is still figuring out where it's going to land post-pandemic. And so freelancing is a great opportunity for some to make more money. So it's your business, you're working for yourself, but it's a side hustle. Some say, all right, I think I could keep my main clients and I could move out here, or I feel like I could build up the clients pretty quickly, or if I just put myself out there, I would attract clients, whatever your scenario is. Okay? But here's the myth. Okay? The myth is, well, because I'm a freelancer, I make my own schedule, I got my own rules. If I want to wear sweats and eat ice cream at 10:30 in the morning, change the dishwasher out while I'm on a call, oh, this is great. I am free lancing. All right? And so that's the kind of idea. Oh, this is great. Well, that's when you're successful. But if you jump out and call yourself a freelancer, you still got to get the work. You got to deliver on the work so that you can pay the bills. I could go out there today and go, Joe, I've just announced I am going to be a professional golfer. Oh, great, Ken. That's wonderful. It's like, I'm a freelancer. Do you got any clients? No. Oh, okay. You're not a freelancer. You're unemployed. That's the deal. I can say I'm a professional golfer. Have you made a tournament? No. Have you ever shot under par? Not yet. I can wish it and hope for it, but okay. So there is a myth that, oh, hey, I can control my own workload too. Not only can I control my hours, I can control my workload. Yeah, after you've been successful enough to kind of hit the bar. So here's my point. Don't buy the myth that you're just going to become a freelancer and you can set your schedule and determine how much work you do. Yes, you can do those things after you have struggled, right? And after you've built it up to a point where now you can set your schedule and determine who you work for and when you work for them. That's only after you've been successful. So don't buy into the, freelancing is going to be awesome. Careful about that. It can be, but it's not awesome when you start, or it's very rare that you can take a bunch of clients with you and everything be awesome. All right. My time is almost up, but before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.